Hello and welcome back to Council Bluffs News. I'm Brandon Tvrdy with Kristen Bieret from the Potawatomi County Conservation. Kristen, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Now, the bird banding demonstration is on November 4th at the Hitchcock Nature Center. And I gotta ask, what is bird banding?
So bird banding, we have a volunteer that comes out and they set up these really fine nets that birds can't see. We can see them to catch songbirds, and then they put a little tiny bracelet on them with a number. And so that way people can catch them along the way as they're migrating to new places, and they can kind of see where they travel and then see how long they live if they catch them year after year as well.
Oh, that's interesting. So you kind of get to see how they grow and how they are later on down the years and all that?
Yeah, definitely. And you can kind of get an idea if they're, migrating or moving to other places as well. So it kind of gives a picture behind their life of, how old they'll live to, but then also as well as where they're going throughout their life.
Oh, that's very cool. And what type of birds should people expect to see?
It just kind of depends on what we catch, but it would be like any sort of songbird. So we could be looking for nuthatches and bluebirds. Maybe juncos this time of year, they might start moving into that area. Cardinals, sometimes we get indigo buntings, but they're kind of on the way of moving out. So it's kind of just the luck of the draw of what happens to be at the bird feeders that day.
And it's just going to be pretty much a variety of birds. You almost can't expect what you're going to exactly find then, pretty much.
Exactly. It's just kind of a luck of the draw of what happens to be there, and depends kind of a little bit on the weather and what the birds are doing. So.
And what location at the Hitchcock will it be? Like, are you guys just going to be going on a trail, or how's that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we're going to be right outside the Les Hills Lodge. We're fortunate that we have a set of bird feeders on both corners of the building, and so they use the nets kind of right around the bird feeders, so there's a natural area where the birds kind of gather anyway, and so that's kind of the spot. They'll set up 2 different nets, and then they'll just use the classroom inside to bring the birds in and band them, and that's where people can meet up with them as well.
And what do you enjoy about this event personally?
I think it's just an awesome opportunity to get to see songbirds up close. What are the odds that you're going to get to see a songbird within inches of your face is not very often. So it's definitely a great opportunity to get to see those birds up close, and then also learn a little bit about the science of banding them as well.
And another great opportunity, and you kind of just covered it, but what other ways can people learn about birds during this experience?
Yeah, so our volunteers are there to help educate people about birds during the program. Another great thing that's going on right now at the same time is we are also counting birds that are migrating through that are raptors. So we'll also have bird counters up on the top of our tower. So that's a great time to go learn from them as well. And then also our bird feeders have some great instructional panels that were grant funded that are behind them. So they'll help you identify all the birds you're seeing that are floating around too, even the ones you're not catching.
That's a very cool event, and I look forward to covering it or having a student cover it, because that sounds really unique and really cool, and it's going to be fun to see all the pretty birds flying around. So thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. More Council Bluffs news after the break.